Okay, so today we're starting off with our statistics unit, and we're going to do skill number 1. So if you turn to this page here, skill number 1 is all about making scatter plots. So this is a data unit, which means we're going to take a bunch of data that people have already taken and do things with it. So we're going to use it to make predictions and kind of analyze it. So in our first example here, it says use a table below to plot their points on the graph. So these are some points people came up with. They're not a straight line necessarily, or an exact straight line, or an exact curve. It's kind of going to be a plot, scatter plots, or kind of points scattered all over the place. So you see you have a grid labeled X and Y, so my X values are here, my Y values are here. And all I'm going to do is plot them. So the first point I have is 2010, so I'm going to go over on my X-axis is 20, and my Y-axis is 10 here. So that would be my first point. My next point would be 3016, so I'm going to go 30. And I kind of bolded the grid so it can help you see it better, because I was having a tough time when I was doing it by myself. Also, I messed up a little bit here, so there is a double grid line there, but you can kind of deal with it. So anyways, if you want to finish plotting these, so 70, 36, 80, 40, 7, 12, here, 10, 7, 60, 30, 50, 28, 40, 60, 31, 30, 10, 70, 7, 40, 20, 50, 6, 40, okay, so that's kind of our, notice they're not in a perfectly straight line, they're kind of scattered all over the place. So that's what a scatter plot is. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be a lot of data points kind of scattered all over the place. So if you go down here, we're going to define what an outlier is and what association means in this context. So an outlier is a point that doesn't follow the rest of the data. So it's either it's far away from the rest of the data. It can either be higher or lower than the rest of the data. So in our picture here, you can kind of see this point is an example of an outlier. So in this data set, let's see, 7012. 7012 is an outlier in this data set. So it's kind of outside the crowd here. So that's all an outlier is. It could be up here. That would be an example of an outlier. An outlier won't be like this, because this kind of follows the pattern of the data. It's kind of going in a straight line. Association, that just means what does it look like. So does this look like a line? Well, it's kind of starting to take the shape of a line. So the association can either be linear or nonlinear, or positive or negative. So in this data set, this is a linear relationship because it looks like the points are going in a straight line. So in this case, this would be linear. And this also has a positive association, because as X is increasing, so is Y. So my X's are increasing and Y's are increasing, so this is also positive. Okay? So that's what association is, especially for this graph. So if you flip to the page here, it says for each of these pictures, describe the association. So I'm looking, does this look like you can see a pattern in it? Is it linear or nonlinear? Well, it's definitely nonlinear. And because it's nonlinear, we can't make a conclusion about it. So there's no association with these points. So these points are scattered everywhere. We can't make a connection between whatever variables we're looking at. This, however, looks like it's kind of going in a curve. It's not a straight line, it's a curve. So this would be nonlinear again. And this would also be positive because as x is increasing, so is y. So see if you can try 5 and 7 on your own. If we go down, these are kind of tough to see. But 8, it looks like, oh, we're identifying the outliers, so it looks like this would be an outlier here, and that would be the point 1, 2. That would be our outlier in this. And so see if you could find, there might be more than one outliers here. See if you can find the outliers there. So that's basically skill 1, is plotting points on a graph given a table, like we did, and then kind of looking at it, is there any association between the points? Is it linear or nonlinear, or is there no association at all? And to identify outliers, some points that might not fit with the data. So that is how to do skill 1.